Hi everyone, it's Valerie, and I just wanted to pop on today and do a quick little video using the You Always Deliver stamp set from Stampin' Up. I think it's one of the most fun ones to use, and I thought I would use it again today to make a birthday card. I'm going to get my video pulled up here so I can make sure you all are seeing everything that I'm seeing and that I'm a little bit crooked. I'm going to adjust my camera just a little bit. There, hopefully now. Well, might be a little crooked the other way now, I don't know. But anyway, this is the stamp set we're going to use. It's called You Always Deliver. It's got this awesome little delivery guy. I love this little doggy. He is my favorite. The delivery man has his hands out so he can hold the gift, the packages, a potted plant, or even this open box that you can have little hearts coming out of or little stars coming out of, or even, I was thinking it would be cute to have the little dog jumping out of the box. But that's not the card we did today. This is the card I'm doing today, and it is a birthday card. And without further ado, we will just go ahead and get started. Hi, Christine. Hi, Lisa. How are you? So the first thing I'm going to do is grab a scrap piece of Whisper White. And I also have a Whisper White oval, the stitched oval. And I'm going to stamp on those first using Memento ink because we're going to color with blends. And whenever you color with blends, you want to use Memento ink so the ink doesn't run on your paper while you're coloring. I think I need to refill my Memento. I've used it too many times lately. So we're just going to stamp the delivery man partially onto that circle because you're not going to get his feet all the way, but everything else is on there. And then ink up, I've got the little gift and the little dog on this one. And yeah, I really do need to refill this, so I'm going to have to refill that before I use it again. And just stamp those on your scrap piece of Whisper White because you don't have to have a huge piece. These are pretty small, so they don't need to be big at all. And look, I've already got Memento on there. Good thing my little dog is going to cover that little splotch of Memento. Okay, so the first thing I started with the little mailman. And I started with the Dark Night of Navy blend. And I don't know if you have the blends or if you're thinking about getting the blends, but they are perfect if you want to color. I love the way you can color and make them a little bit darker with each coat that you go over. I love that they don't show the lines. Like when you color with a regular marker, you get lines, but with these you don't. Now I usually use the brush tip for everything unless I've ruined the brush tip on the end of one of my markers, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. I did. And so for coloring now, I'm using the writing end of it, which it's not bad. You can still color with it. It's just not necessarily what it was made for. It wasn't made for coloring with the writing end, but it's okay to do it. And I figured I was going to do it until my ink ran out on this particular marker, and it will be my So Saffron marker that I use with this. Daffodil Delight. Sorry. I colored some faceted gems with it, and I was just a little too rough with my coloring, and I ruined the end of the brush tip. Luckily, it doesn't look too bad, or it doesn't work too bad with the other tip for coloring. So I'm going to give his little mustache and his hair, I'm going to color him black. Hi, Sandy. How are you? Thanks for joining. Got his little shoe I'll do in the black. Now I'm going to use Petal Pink Light for his skin. Super quick. I really, really love these markers. They really are one of my favorite things to use when I'm trying to get an image colored in. Now for his bag, I'm using Soft Suede Light. And you can see I've made labels for my markers because the writing on these, I will say, is a little small. And especially when I'm doing a video like this, it's easier for me to see when I've got the label attached to it, or when you're looking through your markers and you're trying to find the one that you want. Some of them look similar in color, so if you don't have them labeled like that, they're really hard to use. Oh good, Sandy's crafting right now too. Awesome. We love to craft and watch other people craft at the same time. I do it all the time as well. Real Red Dark. I'm going to do for this little bow and the ribbon on the gift. And what I love about these colors, usually the dark one is true to what the original color is, and then the lighter is just a little bit lighter, and then you can blend them to kind of get an in-between. So here's my Daffodil Delight dark. You can see, I'm gonna bring it closer to the camera, hopefully you can see that end tip is like totally mangled. That was my own fault, I did that myself. So I'll use the other end to color with, which it does work okay. Hi Angie, how are you? And some people like using the writing tip to color with versus the brush tip, but I usually, unless it's like a really skinny line, I try to use the brush tip for most everything. But like I said, on that one, I ruined it. So until I use all of the ink in that marker, I'm not getting rid of it. So for the little dog, all I did was I colored in his spots. And that's it. I didn't color any more of him. He could be any color you want. I mean, you could definitely color him in if you're making this card and want to do something different. So what I did was I cut these two out, and by magic of video, I already have those cut out. So you don't have to watch me use my scissors. All right, we'll take our Real Red cardstock, fold it in half. Use your bone folder to get a good crease, because that'll helps it lay down flat when you're working on it. The next thing I want to do is we're just going to start assembling, and then once we get most of this on her, then I'm going to show you how I got just birthday wishes from this stamp that says sending you birthday wishes from far away. So we will go ahead, and I have a crushed curry piece of cardstock, and I ran it through our new folder that's coming in the holiday catalog, the hammered metal. Doesn't that look fantastic? It almost looks like, especially when you use it with certain colors, it almost looks like an animal scales or something. But when you use it with a metallic paper, it really does look like hammered metal. It's fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and punch both of those banners using the banner triple punch. Now this one was run through the corrugated embossing folder, which is also another great one. Now you have to watch when you do this through the corrugated folder, your paper becomes extremely flexible. So sometimes you can actually stretch it out a little bit longer than what you wanted. So, I mean, you could take this and stretch it and make it a little bit longer, but that's just a little tricklet in case you want to do that. The piece of smoky slate I ran through the Subtles embossing folder, and I'm just going to adhere that down to the front of the Real Red cardstock with some snail adhesive. Now it looks like my camera is slipping a little bit. It did this to me the other day. I am having a hard time getting this tightened quite tight enough, so I apologize. I'm tightening it one more time to see if I can get it to stop moving on me, because I don't want it doing that when I'm trying to do a video. Hopefully that stays now. Let me just kind of move it just to make sure I've got it back on camera. There we go. Perfect. All right. Sorry, I had to look at my arm there. All right. So for the back of these, I just put Stampin' Dimensionals. And where did I put them? Literally right next to me, and I didn't see them. That's how my life goes. On the banners, I try to do one in the middle, regardless of whether it's thin or thick. With this basic black one, it doesn't matter which way you put it. I should have put that in the middle. I'm gonna take that one off and put it not in the middle of the banner, but in the center here. But I try to put one in the middle just to keep them from sagging, because it just helps a little bit. So go ahead and get all of your adhesive backs off. Then you're going to adhere them to the front of the card. Super easy. And this card doesn't take long once you've got especially once you've run everything through your embossing folders and all of that. But usually when I make a card like this, it was easier because I cut 2 at a time. If you're going to do it, run 2. Always make a second card of whatever you're working on, because then you'll have extra in your stash if you need another birthday card like this. So the first, the crushed curry, I took all the way to the top of the card. The basic black, I'm just bringing right here to the top of that smoky slate piece. Then I'm going to stamp a couple of little hearts in Real Red. That kind of brings out since we use Real Red for the ribbon, we've got our Real Red card base. Just gonna stamp them here. They're gonna look like the little dog is like, oh, I love you, mailman, or delivery person, whatever you wanna call him. I think he looks like a mailman, but that's just because probably the way I colored him. So now for the back of this, I'm only gonna put a dimensional on this right-hand side, and the reason is, once I lay this on here, that'll make this even. If I put dimensionals on all of it, it would kind of tilt like this, and I didn't want it to be tilted. So then I'm just gonna take a couple of strips of snail adhesive right there on that side, and go ahead and get this stuck on here. Now, take your Starburst punch. Starburst punch is one of my favorite. Take a piece of silver glimmer paper or whatever color glimmer paper you have or want to use, because I wanted to add just a little bit of bling to this card without it being girly, I guess is how I want to put it, because I want to use this for a young gentleman for a birthday card. And just slide half of it under here, because you don't need that whole thing. There's no point in wasting this much of it that would be underneath the card. You can save this piece and use it for another card. Take your little dog, give him, I just put 2 mini dimensionals on him because he's kind of tiny. He doesn't really need the large dimensionals. So just the mini ones. Stick him on there so it looks kind of like he's running. I have his little back legs hanging off from that oval a little bit. Now for the gift, I just put some snail on the back of it and connected it right to that oval. And here's the fun part. This is my little tricklet of the day. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. So if you know it, great. If you don't, I'm teaching you something new. So I take a Post-it note and I cut it in half because I have 2 parts of this stamp that I don't want showing. And because I'm stamping this in Memento black ink and we don't have Memento markers, I can't just color in the words birthday wishes. So I'm going to cover everything but birthday wishes on this photopolymer stamp. Now, I will tell you, the Post-it notes don't stick as good to the photopolymer as they do to the red rubber. So you can't leave this setting for a long time by any means and hope to come back to it and have it stuck, because it's probably not going to. It's probably going to come unstuck. So while those are already on there, they look fantastic like that, don't they? Take your Memento ink and just ink up birthday wishes really well. Take these off, throw them away. All you have inked right now is the birthday wishes. Put that and stamp it down toward the right bottom corner of your little stitched rectangle. Then we're going to take Happy and we're going to use a little bit of Tombow ink. And I'm going to go just across because I want it to lay on here where it looks like we've written Happy like on a line here. Like the top of this rectangle is our line on our writing paper, so to speak. So just put a little bit, if you can get it to come out without squeezing it too hard. And once you get on there, spread it out a little bit with the tip because you don't want massive globs of it. And I should have held this the other way because I want to do, oh, nice, a little bit of glue at the bottom of the P and at the bottom of the Y. And then we go ahead and stick that on here. And it'll take just a few seconds for that to dry. It's not going to take long, but to make sure it stays there, I'm just going to lay this block on it. I'm going to quickly take another piece of paper right here and just kind of get that glue off from there maybe. So now it's not so sticky. Take a piece of Whisper White cardstock for the inside of your card. Get that Real Red ink out again. Stamp these little hearts. I put in each corner. This is going to go on the inside of your card, but you can do them however you want. I just wanted one in each corner. Going to adhere this now that this is dry. We're just going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I always, like I said, I always try to do one in the center and on the ends of everything that I stick on because I don't want the centers sagging of anything that I put on here. Just flip it back over. to the front of the card, kind of toward the bottom of that gray granite piece that we have there. And then I added one of these Star Designer elements. These are from the new holiday catalog. And I'm just going to use my scissors to get one. Oh, that one's not coming up with the, there we go, with the adhesive, because they have adhesive on the back of them. And I just add that little star on there just for something extra. Open your card up, flip this piece over, put some snail adhesive on the back or Tombow glue, whatever you want to use. Get that on the inside of your card and you're done. That's it. Isn't that an adorable card? I think that's really cute. Over on my blog, stampinwithvalerie.com, I'll have all the measurements. So you'll have all the measurements for everything for this card. And I also wanted to tell you about a sale that is coming up. And you're gonna laugh at my papers that I printed out. So here are the first ones that I printed out. And here's what it should look like. It should have these colors on it, but for some reason this file is not printing it out. But these designer series papers are going on sale starting September 4th. And I'll list them here, but they'll also be on the website on valeriesmith.stampinup.net on the sale website. Perennial Essence, See a Silhouette Designer Series paper, Come Sail Away, Magnolia Lane, Garden Lane, Follow Your Art, Woven Threads, Dino Roar, Bird Ballad, and Press Petals Specialty DSP. So all of those designer series papers will be on sale from September 4th through September 30th, and they're buy 3 get 1 free. So it's perfect time to stock up on your designer series papers. So anyway, go ahead, head over to my blog. I'm going to post this in just a couple of minutes as soon as I get the video uploaded, and you will have all of the dimensions and you can make one of these cards for yourself. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.